Thomas Sankara was born in 1949 in a small village in Upper Volta, a French colony in West Africa. This was a time when the winds of change were beginning to stir across the continent, but colonial rule still held a firm grip on many nations. This colony would later become Burkina Faso, a name that means land of upright people, reflecting the aspirations of its people for dignity and independence. His family was modest. His father was a health worker, a role that was both respected and challenging in those times. His mother was a strong and nurturing presence in his life. Despite their humble beginnings, Sankara's parents believed in the power of education. They understood that knowledge was a key to unlocking a better future, not just for their son, but for their entire community. They instilled in him a strong work ethic and a thirst for knowledge. Sankara was encouraged to read widely and think critically about the world around him. Sankara excelled in school. He was a bright and curious student, always eager to learn more. His teachers recognized his potential and often spoke of his promise. He was also deeply troubled by the injustices he saw around him. The stark contrast between the wealth of the colonial rulers and the poverty of his own people was a source of constant frustration. Colonial rule had left deep scars on his homeland. The exploitation and oppression were evident in every aspect of life, from the economy to the social structure. Poverty and inequality were widespread. Many families struggled to make ends meet, and opportunities for advancement were few and far between. Sankara believed that things could be different. He was inspired by the stories of other African leaders who were fighting for independence and justice. He dreamed of a better future for his people, a future where everyone had the chance to succeed, regardless of their background or social status. His pursuit of knowledge led him to a military academy. He saw the military as a way to gain the skills and discipline needed to make a real difference. At the academy, he received military training. He learned about strategy, leadership, and the importance of teamwork. He also encountered revolutionary ideas that would shape his thinking. The academy was a place where young minds were exposed to new and radical concepts. The writings of Frantz Fanon and Che Guevara resonated deeply with him. Their calls for liberation and justice struck a chord with his own experiences and aspirations. He came to believe that true liberation required more than just political independence. It required a fundamental change in the way society was organized and governed. It demanded a complete overhaul of the social and economic order. Sankara was determined to be a part of that change, to help build a new and just society for his people. Sankara's military career provided him with valuable experience, shaping his understanding of discipline, strategy, and leadership. It also exposed him to the harsh realities of life under an oppressive regime, where freedom was a luxury and fear was a constant companion. He witnessed firsthand the suffering of ordinary people, the daily struggles of families trying to survive amidst poverty and neglect. This fueled his desire for change, igniting a passion within him to fight for a better future for his people. He couldn't ignore the poverty and lack of opportunities that plagued his people. The dilapidated schools, the long queues for food, and the crumbling infrastructure. He served in the military during a period of political turmoil in Upper Volta, a time marked by instability and unrest. Coups and counter-coups were common, and corruption was rampant, with those in power often prioritizing their own interests over the needs of the people. Sankara was a man of principle, steadfast in his beliefs and unwavering in his commitment to justice. He refused to be part of a system that valued self-enrichment over the welfare of the people, often turning away from offers that compromised his integrity. His outspokenness and integrity made him both admired and feared, a beacon of hope for some and a threat to others. He was a charismatic leader who inspired those around him, rallying supporters with his vision of a just and equitable society. However, his critiques of the status quo made him enemies within the ruling elite, who saw his ideas as a direct challenge to their authority. They saw him as a threat to their power, a revolutionary who could upend the established order and bring about a new era of governance. In 1983, at the young age of 33, Thomas Sankara seized power in a popular revolution. His rise to power was not just a political shift, but a profound change that resonated deeply with the people. The people of Upper Volta were tired of corrupt and ineffective leadership. Years of mismanagement had left the country in a state of despair, with rampant poverty and a lack of basic services. They saw in Sankara a beacon of hope. His charisma and vision for a better future inspired many, and his words ignited a sense of possibility and change. He embodied their aspirations for a just and prosperous society. Sankara's connection with the people was palpable. He was one of them, and he understood their struggles and dreams. Sankara wasted no time in implementing his vision. He quickly set about transforming the government and society, focusing on transparency and accountability. He renamed the country Burkina Faso, meaning land of upright people, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. This name change was more than symbolic. It was a call to action for the citizens to stand tall and take pride in their nation. He embarked on an ambitious program of national transformation. This included massive infrastructure projects, building schools, hospitals, and roads to connect the country. This program focused on social justice, economic self-reliance, and cultural renewal. Sankara believed that true independence could only be achieved through self-sufficiency and empowerment of all citizens. His revolution was about more than just taking power. It was about creating a society where everyone had a stake in the future and could contribute to the nation's progress. It was about empowering the people. Sankara's policies encouraged local initiatives and community-driven projects, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility among the citizens. Sankara believed that true development had to come from within. He emphasized the importance of local resources and talents, urging the people to rely on their own strengths. He called on the people of Burkina Faso to be architects of their own destiny. Through collective effort and determination, Sankara envisioned a future where Burkina Faso would stand as a model of self-reliance and dignity in Africa. Section 4. The People's President. Sankara's commitment to social justice was unwavering. He believed that everyone deserved a decent life. He implemented free healthcare and education for all. He tackled corruption head-on, dismissing corrupt officials and promoting transparency in government. He challenged traditional gender roles, promoting women to positions of power. He saw women as vital agents of change. He believed that no society could progress while half its population was marginalized. Sankara led by example. He shunned the trappings of power, choosing to live modestly. He sold off the government's fleet of luxury cars, replacing them with inexpensive vehicles. He reduced his own salary and encouraged other government officials to do the same. Section 5. A Vision for Africa. Sankara was a Pan-Africanist at heart. He believed in the unity and solidarity of African nations. He called for an end to neocolonialism and the exploitation of African resources by Western powers. He urged African leaders to prioritize the needs of their own people. He challenged the international community to treat Africa with respect. He refused to accept foreign aid with strings attached. He believed that true development had to be based on self-reliance and not dependence. His message resonated across the continent and beyond. He became a symbol of hope and resistance for oppressed people around the world. He showed that it was possible to stand up to injustice and chart an independent course. Section 6. Winds of Change, Whispers of Dissent. Sankara's radical reforms were not without their challenges. His policies threatened the interests of powerful groups both within Burkina Faso and internationally. Former colonial powers saw their influence waning. Local elites resented the loss of their privileges. The economy faced difficulties as Sankara tried to wean the country off its dependence on foreign aid. Drought and desertification posed significant environmental challenges. Implementing such ambitious reforms in a short period was a daunting task. Despite the obstacles, Sankara remained steadfast in his commitment to his ideals. He knew that change was never easy. He understood that true progress required sacrifice. He continued to rally the people, urging them to remain united in the face of adversity. Thomas Sankara's enduring legacy is a testament to the power of revolutionary spirit. Let us continue to strive for justice, equality, and true independence, inspired by his unwavering dedication.